Hey, good morning. I am so excited to host another breakthrough interview today with the infamous Sam Schultz. And before we dive into the interview, I think it's important that I introduce myself so you're not like, who is this girl that is interviewing this Sam? I'm Meg Church. I'm a relationship repair coach and self-sabotage coach. So I basically reestablish the self-worth that you have with yourself and then inside your relationships as well. I've been hosting these interviews because I think it's really important for people to see what happens behind the scenes. And there's no instant success. There's no instant healing. There's no instant magic that happens. It takes work. Oh, Momo. And so I really wanted Sam on here because she has an amazing story, and this is going to be really brave and vulnerable for her to share. And Mo wants to, he's so cute. So please, let's everybody give Sam a warm welcome. So welcome, Sam.
Hi, everybody.
So this woman, she's going to dive in deeper into her story. But she was in a severe, and when I say severe, it was severe accident 4 years ago. And she's going to dive in a little bit more into that. And then we'll go through some of the battles that she faced that still to this day, I'm like, man, you are a hero. All right. So Sam, tell us what happened 4 years ago.
So 4 years ago, I was mountain biking in Boulder, Colorado, and I flipped over my handlebars and landed on my face, causing my brain to shake in my head, resulting in a 2 centimeter bleed in my right basal ganglia. So I'm a traumatic brain injury survivor.
Man. And what's crazy is Sam and I worked together at our part-time jobs back in the day. And I remember our boss pulling all of us in and telling us what happened to Sam. And I mean, there were tears everywhere. People were told they could go home if they needed to. And then through all of that, she got known as Super Sam. Remember all that? Super Sam.
I am.
Yeah. They had bracelets made and everything. So with Sam, so when you went to Colorado and you were there, you were trying to kind of work on your relationship a little bit. You can go into that if you want, you don't have to. And then what was the series of challenges that happened after the accident?
I was coming home and trying to learn life as a brain injury survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out there looking at master's programs to go back to school to get my master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
My ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
The word ex.
Yes, ex.
Because he decided it was a little too hard to take care of me.
Because what? That was like a month. Wasn't it like a month or two after the accident when you couldn't do anything and that's when it was too hard?
Yes.
Again, we're not putting someone down, but just kind of showing some of the battles that she's had to face. Mm-hmm. So what was some of the battles that you did face? Because you lost all your normal. You always say that you had a before the accident and an after the accident and that you're no longer the same person. You're a much better person, much better version, 2.0. What kind of things did you have to relearn?
Everything. I had to relearn how to walk, talk, eat, sleep, pee, poop.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely everything.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, while you were going through that, you also were dealing with heartbreak because you felt betrayal in so many ways. So, guys, I just want you to think about that. Like, think about when you've gone through something where, Mo,
I had a chance to go outside.
Aw. Do you need to take her real fast?
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. But just think about like when you've been through something big, like for those that are watching, and then you have something like this going on at the same time and heartbreak and like betrayal, just the state that you were in, right? Isn't it crazy to think back, to think about where you're at and where you're at now?
Yes.
So some of the things that Sam was told she would never do again, what were some of the things that you're like, the doctor said you probably would never do?
I didn't think I would be able to walk again.
Mm-hmm.
Live on my own again.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all I can.
Maybe, did they ever say anything about work? Because you work now too.
I do, yes. Well, I was hooked up with a job coach to help me find the job, the YMCA, and now I work for the YMCA.
So I get to see Sam almost every morning.
Mm-hmm.
So what would go through your head when you were trying to relearn how to function? Like, would you treat yourself kindly? Would you try to beat yourself up in some ways? And like you said that you used to wish, like, why me a lot?
Yes.
So what kind of things would happen, would go through your head?
Well, I started out getting very frustrated. But then I started to realize, like, this is life. Like, you have to get through it and adapt and overcome. And I was proud to do it. It definitely showed me the kind of woman I was.
You said God showed you?
It definitely showed me.
Definitely showed you.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Did you like, what would you do on really hard days? Like, how would you like pump yourself up? Or what would you do when you're just like, man, I don't know if I can do this?
I would just look in the mirror and say, look how far I had come. And like, Sam, you got here, so keep pushing to get further.
So those were some of the battles that you faced. And then, like, I kind of started talking about a little bit, we go into, I always call it like the breakup with the bully. So the bully, we often think is people outside of us, but most of the time it's our own self that is, trying to pick on ourselves and not putting love into our own self. So how did you try to silence the bully and just focus on the now so that you weren't comparing yourself to before the accident?
I just kind of told myself, like, this is it, Sam. You can do it. And I had the best support system, friends and family, helping me through a lot.
That's awesome. And then did you try to set up little things? Like, I know you did a run, like a 5K run, and you did walking and running. Like, did you try to set up little things to help, like, push you and motivate you along the way?
Oh, yeah. When I was doing the drumstick dash last Thanksgiving, I would say, okay, run from this side to the light pole.
Which is so fun, because then you can see like a measurable area of how far you physically have come.
I said, here to there.
And I think like you doing that is something that everybody can do. When something seems so insurmountable and you're like, how am I ever going to do this? Break it up into little chunks, which is what you've had to do over and over again, whether or not it's with physical therapy or just trying not to compare yourself to before and trying to think of who the future Sam's going to be, the 2.0 version. So what were some of the worst things that you said to yourself when you weren't in a good state? Like when you were like kind of beating yourself up? Was there anything that sticks out?
I must remember getting really mad. Like, just do it, Sam. It was so hard to do it. I didn't understand why it was so hard. Because I could do it, and now I can't.
So how would you get out of that madness? Just by like trying it, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Try and fail and try and fail and then try and succeed.
So, okay. So we've talked about the battles. We've talked a little bit about like the breakup with the bully. Now I want to talk about who are you now and who are you becoming? So we'll start with who are you now? What are you able to do? What are all the things?
Well, I can walk without my cane. I'm working at the YMCA.
Bright and early.
Yes, every day. And when I started my job there as a volunteer, I still had my cane. And I'm in a very loving relationship.
Talk about that more, because I was really excited when you shared about all of that before. Like, give him some love.
He is the best man ever met. And he loves me and makes me feel like the best girl he's ever met. We just work very well together as a team. And he helps me through a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
When I have my sad days and my bad days, he's here for me.
When you guys first met, I remember when I came into the gym, you told me that you met him, and just the type of person that he was, and one of the first dates that you went on. What was one of the first dates? Because it was, I think, the state fairgrounds, right?
Yeah, we went to the state fair. That was the day he asked me to be his girlfriend, actually.
Aww. But just talk a little bit about that, because I remember you were so excited, like, I have to show you, and I want to show you all of this, and I got to show you what he said. Hi, Momo.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Mo can be in it.
Biting me.
Just like his level of patience with things. Remember how he said that if you didn't feel like you could walk the whole time or something, he would carry you. He didn't care.
Yes.
To be there.
Oh yeah. Because on the 3-year anniversary of my accident, we went walking around the canal and out to eat. And he said, "If you get tired, Sam, you can get on my back." We actually went to the Wham Festival in Greenwood, and he did carry me back to the car because it was raining and I couldn't walk fast in the rain.
Aww. Well, and then just some of the other little things that, like, you can just show his level of his heart for you. Remember that video game thing he built you?
Oh yes. He built me an adaptive video controller so I could enjoy things with him.
Because you said it was like harder for your thumbs or something.
Yes,
something. So
yeah, I don't really have dexterity in my left hand.
So he built it so that you could have quality time with him.
Can I text him really quick to let Mo out?
Yeah. Yeah. So Mo is her new little puppy, who is a husky American bulldog mix, and
Sharpei too.
And Sharpei too. That's why she's got the wrinkles, and she's so cute. And Sam would show me pictures of the puppy before she ever got her, and so now she's officially here, and she's so much bigger than she was before. But that's why I always wondered why she had so many wrinkles, because Huskies and American Bulldogs don't have it. So the Sharpei makes sense because they're all up here. So
she's got a squishy face.
So we've talked about that, and I think one of the big reasons why I wanted Sam on here, especially around the holidays, is holiday time sometimes can be lonely. It can be times where you get frustrated with yourself. It can be times where you lose hope. And I think Sam has had a story that just shares the most hope. It shares how much you truly can overcome everything. I mean, I was so excited to see you for the first time at the gym when I didn't realize that you even were working at the gym, let alone working out. Remember when we saw each other for the first time? I was like, "Whoa, you're here!" I introduced you to Derek and stuff, and just to know that Kristen works out there too. I mean, I think that your story can instill that hope. Like, some people, it doesn't mean that you compare your journey to someone else's, but your story isn't like something that happens to everybody. So what little bit of advice would you give to people if they're in that like really struggle phase or something that just seems like insurmountable?
Just push through and do it, because if I can do it, you can do it. And
can you even imagine, like, I know you've said this, that life is so much better now than even before the accident. What do you think has made it so much better?
I just see the world so differently. So much more gratitude, and I'm so much more thankful for everything.
And where do you think you were before? Like, what do you think your mind state was before the accident? Just to be honest.
I really just didn't know anything about life. Like, I was trying to learn about life in Colorado, and this happened. So maybe this needed to happen to me to show me some things about life.
Aw. Okay, so let's say that someone's going through heartbreak right now and like extreme betrayal. Since I work with relationship stuff, what advice would you give them right now? I know that wasn't something I said I was going to talk to you about, but I think that you're like the perfect person to have gone through a tragic situation and now have something amazing. So what advice would you give people in this like lonely season of heartbreak?
Just hold out and wait for that one to come, because he will come.
And what should they do in the meantime?
Just keep being you and keep working hard.
Mm-hmm. Should they like, take care of themselves like physically in the gym and like work on their spirituality, their faith?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Because you did that a lot more
Yes, I
after
did.
the accident. What did that look like?
Well, I was using it more of kind of like to get my mind off of things and to get back to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I made a new self instead.
Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's the coolest thing too, is like when you had your 4-year anniversary and you said there was a before the accident and an after the accident, and that the after the accident is so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that that's like the coolest testimony. And I think it gives me like chills to think about it. Because I think a lot of people just assume that it wouldn't be, you know, like the things that maybe you took for granted before, now you don't take for granted. You see it as the biggest blessing.
Oh, yes. I definitely see the world so much differently than I did.
Aww.
I'm very thankful for the world.
So what does your future look like? What are some things that you're becoming, that you're excited about, you're going to try, or?
I'm still trying to become a certified personal trainer.
Ooh, that's awesome.
They say third time's a charm, but it might be the fourth time I take the test.
All right. That's awesome. Okay, so that's something.
Yes.
What else do you work? Are you going to try to do another 5K?
Oh, yes, and I'm going to run a whole 5K by the end of 2021.
That's awesome. Have you already signed up for one yet, or do you know when you're going to do?
No, I haven't signed up for one yet. No, there's a lot of stuff is in like limbo just because of COVID.
Oh, true. Yep. I definitely know that. I feel like races have been canceled or postponed or just. So with that, are you trying to run a little bit when you're at the gym each day just to kind of prepare on the treadmill, or are you trying to run outside, or what does that look like?
I run mostly not on the treadmill because it scares me that I'm not controlling the ground.
Right. No, true. That makes sense.
And I am taking physical therapy right now at a place called NeuroHope.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a treadmill where I'm hooked up in a harness.
Okay.
And so they'll put me like a fast walk on there, or I'll run in the gym on the floor.
Okay.
It's just the treadmill just scares me. I don't know.
No, I can see that too, especially when you want to have your grounding and you want to feel like safe when you're trying something that, you know, pushing you outside your comfort zone.
Yes.
Well, Sam, I am so proud of you. It's so amazing to see you. I remember telling Derek the first time we reconnected, like once we saw each other, I'm like, babe, you have no idea. Like we can't put into words what you went through. And I only saw parts of it.
It's still hard for me to put it into words.
It is like just to see, I mean, even the people that are at the gym that maybe didn't know you before, I'm like, remember that one day I was like, no, like you don't understand. I remember when you came to the holiday Christmas party.
Yeah.
And it's like you recognized us, but you weren't there.
I wasn't there. Yeah.
Mm-mm. And it was like, oh, like it was so to be able to have you back, but another version of you is the most exciting and the greatest thing. And I'm sure that your family is super excited and grateful and proud of you. And just, I don't know, just another blessing for the holiday season too. So if you could leave anybody with anything before we head off of here, what do you think it would be? Or what would you like it to be?
Kind of playing off of how I said, if I can do it, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest thing, is that you can do anything if you put your mind to it and your heart to it. Just do it. You just got to do it. That's the only thing.
Yep, and getting mad at yourself isn't going to speed up the process, right?
No, not at all. If anything, it'll make it harder.
Mm-hmm.
So be proud of yourself and do it, because you can do it.
Guys, she's amazing. If you ever have the pleasure of meeting her in real life, she's even better. But thank you so much, Sam. I hope that you instill hope in other people that are going through a season or a year or some kind of battle that maybe people don't know about, and that you instilled that peace around trying to figure out who you're becoming and continue to work at that. So thank you so much. I love you to death, and I am so proud of you. I appreciate you being on here.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, guys. I hope you learned some stuff and got inspired by Miss Sam. All right. Until next time. Bye.